Welcome back, everybody. Today is Wednesday, October 28th. Let's go ahead and get started. So we are in the Constitution era. I like to consider this our historical document chapter. We will identify and analyze the ideas behind important documents and how they help form the government. So far, we've talked about the Northwest Ordinance, those rules to become states in new territory, where it was based on population and you couldn't have slaves. Then yesterday, we introduced our three branches of government in the federal government: executive, judicial, and legislative branches. So now, today, we're going to see what was happening as the Revolutionary War ended. Remember that when the war ended, there was the lack of leadership because they had completely disconnected with the king, and this brand new nation had to take care of itself, and they had to design rules and laws in order for them to survive. So today we will identify the issues with the first plan of government they decided to create, called the Articles of Confederation. Why is this important? Well, the young nation feared another tyrant. So when we look at how they set up their government, they're going to have strong states. And finally, today, you will predict problems the US will face with this weak plan. So, quick forecast: this plan of government is not going to work out, guys. So, as we learn about it, we're going to be looking for problems that are possible. So, a quick review of our diagram from yesterday. Remember that in our government, we have states with local leaders, all right? Like El Paso has a mayor, Texas has a governor, and then we have the federal, central, and national government up top, which consists of the executive, legislative, and judicial branch, all right? So we're going to go ahead and jump into our notebook for page 42, being very patient as we are every day. All right. Oops. Here we go. So page 42 starts with the Articles of Confederation. This was the first plan for the U.S. government the 13 states agreed to follow after becoming independent. Below are explanations to help you understand how they set it all up. Now, after defeating England, the colonies designed a way to give power to their own leaders chosen by the people. In order to ensure that no one person had too much control, they split power between a variety of leaders. Some were local. Remember, we had the states down below in that diagram, and others were national leaders, for example, the president. So if you're looking here at this balance, okay, we're going to pretend this is a balance of power. We have the state governments on this side. Again, examples, we have governors, mayors, and local courts. And then we have the federal, central, and national government on the right-hand side. Examples of these leaders are presidents, senators, and Supreme Court. The idea of having two levels of leadership in the United States was to keep the nation protected from another tyrant. And so this big idea today is called federalism, and it's defined here as a principle or rule that explains how power is shared between states and the national central federal government in order to better secure the nation with two levels of leadership. Okay, so it's a big idea, but if we have this good diagram, and just remember, we've got the local leaders and the national leaders all working to protect the nation. So the activity today is next. The laws were written in contrast to the way the King of England controlled them. In other words, the laws were opposite of the grievances or complaints listed in the Declaration of Independence. They were sure they didn't want a tyrant king overruling the nation, so there was no head leader of the United States. Use the flow chart below to see other examples. So I'm going to use my zoom in magnifying glass, as I suggest you always do. And you can see in the red, We have the grievances or complaints in the Declaration and how they relate to how their new government, the Articles of Confederation, is formed. So, for example, A, the colonists were afraid of more taxation without representation. So when the Articles of Confederation, Congress, the legislative branch, was not able to tax people. Only the states had that power. So I want you to imagine a government, a federal government that had no ability to tax, meaning they were broke. And I want you to double click here in the purple box. What's the problem with having a broke government? We're going to share out. All right, let's move on to B. Colonists didn't like quartering troops in their home. Remember, they had to keep those British soldiers in their homes. So in this new Articles of Confederation government, there was no national army. No military. Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, a United States with no national army. What could a possible problem be? You're going to type it into the purple box so we can share out. And our very last box, C. The colonists feared a strong central government would abuse its power like a tyrant king. So there was no executive branch or judicial branch. So remember yesterday when we talked about the three branches and their jobs? The first plan of government in the Articles of Confederation only had the legislative branch. What's the problem with that? So what? What does this all mean? The Articles of Confederation set up a system of federalism that gave the states more power than the federal government. This was like having a home where the kids have more power than the parents and is problematic. So once we are done today, we're going to watch a short video and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.